Welcome, everyone.
Hello, everybody.
Thank you to our Rocks for coming to our Rocks relaunch, business relaunch. You're probably wondering what that's all about, because we've been doing this LifeWave business for over a year now, and it was July last year that Xander and I had our in-person event in Upper Hutt
Slash birthday.
slash birthday party where we came out with what we've been up to. And since then, it's been a whirlwind of a ride. We've had a great time. We've toured the North Island several times now, visiting different locations and building our team as we go. And we've qualified for one of the incentive trips and went to the Bahamas. We've also been over to Australia for a conference, which we've got a couple of ladies from over there tonight with us who, and Tessa was a big part of putting that together, Vision to Victory. It was a fantastic event. And yeah, it's been quite a year, isn't it?
Mm.
And so what we wanted to do tonight, actually, this is sort of for the benefit of our team who are really leaning into building their business now, stepping out of their comfort zones a bit and are getting prepared to launch their own businesses. They are already actively sharing, but we really wanted to show them what a online business launch could look like. Because it's really important with LifeWave. A lot of people start LifeWave they start patching first and they start having incredible breakthroughs. They can't keep quiet about it. And they start asking for help in terms of, I've got some friends who are interested in getting started. What do I do? And at that point, we sort of say, well, you could consider launching your business in that you have an event either at home with all your nearest and dearest and supporters and people who are interested, or you could do one online, just like we're going to do tonight. And but the key is to invite everyone to come along and support you. And then if they like what they hear, they find, if they see what you see and catch the vision that we've all caught, then you might have some of your first customers in that launch. And that's the idea. The key with this business is to get off the ground really quickly and bring your key people on board. People like Sue and Andy and Natalie and who we've got on the call with us tonight who are leaning in and wanting to link arms with us and build this together. It's a great business to build alongside each other.
I don't have anything to add.
Oh,
I just like watching you speak. So I'm sure I'll chime in later.
Well, fantastic. Okay, so what I'd love to do now is just introduce Tessa Tremaine. Where are you, Tessa? Come off your mute. Tessa Tremaine's over in Aussie, and she's what we call one of our uplines. She's actually she's kicking ass, if I may say that, in Australia. And a lot of us, we all kind of come under Tessa in this business. And yeah, you've got thousands of people now whose lives are changed, haven't you, Tessa, through this incredible technology? So welcome.
Thank you. Absolutely, Deb and Xander. Thanks for asking me to join. And for those that I haven't met, hi, welcome. Thanks for coming on. Look, this is just something that you may like to just do part-time, try or whatever. I did. I was so skeptical when I started. In fact, it was the furthest thing from my mind when someone told me and said, hey, you need to try one of these patches. And I said, what for? And for that. In fact, I thought he was just a bit nutty that a little sticker could change my life. And I actually said no. I said no 6 times. It took 6 months pretty much for me to actually say, oh my gosh, just give me some and I'll try them, because actually the pain got the better of me. So there you go. So I ended up having sciatica pain and ended up having tried everything. I mean, deep tissue massage, I'd tried chiropractors, I'd tried the whole works, and osteopaths had nothing that could help me. And I was spending about $400 a month just to have those things done. And what I found is for $6 a day, I was able to change that totally. I actually noticed in the first day, and by day 4, I was ringing Mario and going, how do I get these? My only regret was that I didn't start earlier. But what
Yeah.
it did do is it changed everything. It changed I had arthritis. I'm now 63. I was 59 when I started patching, but I had arthritis, really unknown to me that I was that bad, but I was stiffening up. And I don't know if any of you ladies, you're all too young, some of you, but had noticed any stiffening in your body. But when you sort of go through menopause, you start to stiffen up. It's a bit horrible. And yeah, that changed. All the arthritis left my body, not on any thyroid medication, used to be eyesight reversed 2 sizes, so lots of changes. So it really has been a phenomenal change. And when you've got something so precious, you just go and share it with others. Thanks.
Absolutely. Thank you, Tessa. That's awesome. Yeah, so what we would love to take you through tonight is it's the X39 opportunity presentation that they're run all around the world by various people all the time. And it's essentially about a half an hour. We introduce you to the product, how it works, have some testimonials. Ours might go a little bit longer tonight because we've got a few more testimonials than would normally be shared, and then we share a little bit about the business and how it works, and that's it. It's something that is duplicatable, that any of us can just grab the slides off the thisisit.team.com website and pretty much read them. So that's all we're doing tonight, and this is how we would like to help our team. When they're ready to launch, we can host this for them. We can go through the slides for them and they can bring their friends along. And that's essentially how we get started. So I'd love to kick off with a video, which is a fantastic 4-minute video with a bunch of people sharing their testimonials from around Australia and New Zealand. So I'll share screen first because that will help. Where's the share? There you go. And okay, hopefully you guys can see that. Okay, nods, lovely. All right, we'll kick things off. Can you hear that?
We love this product. This has changed our family's life.
This X39 had to be something special.
For our son, he went from being bedridden to actually playing Division 2 rep basketball this year.
I caught a virus that attacked the brain. It left me totally powerless in every sense of the word. It was really a hard life. X39 literally exploded in my body and I was able to think again. I had a brain.
I have had diagnosis of endometriosis in my bladder, suffering from chronic UTIs from probably the age of 14. My nana put a couple of patches on me one day and my pain was just gone instantly. And I have had recurring menstruating cycles with no UTIs and no pain. It has helped immensely with my anxiety. I sleep better.
A few months ago, I got diagnosed with a blood sugar level of 117. If I continued the way I was, I'd be on kidney dialysis and possibly die. I started using the X39 along with SB6. So come down from 117 to 60.
I had a pain in my bottom for 11 months that nothing helped. I had tried all the essential oils known to mankind. So it was miraculous that I met up with Vanessa at the markets on the Gold Coast. And she gave me a patch and said, pop off to the bathroom and put this on your bottom and see what happens. Guys, in 20 minutes, all the pain had left my body. Like, this was total life-changing.
Well, I played a lot of rugby when I was younger. I had 2 shoulder reconstructions. 2.5 years I've been battling with that. Just 3.5 weeks after wearing this patch, and I wasn't expecting this. It completely blindsided me.
The biggest thing I noticed, the menopause. So the brain fog, hot flushes, the sleep. That was a big thing for me. And I didn't actually realize how bad it was until all of a sudden the brain fog lifted. I'm not as tired. I can go through the whole day.
I used to have migraines, very bad. I couldn't do anything but sleep. I have started using the LifeWave X39 patch. It saved me. It's saved me. A big thing I've noticed is mental clarity. I can think clearly. I can do stuff.
We basically have a daughter who had 3 major brain traumas. After 6 weeks of patching the X39 on her body and her brain, it was like we got our daughter back.
I got energy after like my 6th or 7th day, and even my brain fog. that I had from COVID, ADHD, my central nervous system. It's been a game changer for me.
Since I was a kid, I have had a sharp pain in my lower back, and they've never actually been able to tell me what it is. I started wearing patches. I noticed after about a week that it was less. I wasn't wiggling as much. I wasn't taking as many anti-inflammatories or pain relief. It's been a month now and it's basically gone. My sleeps are definitely better, a lot more energy. I mean, it's been over 30 years since I've had it. Different person now.
I noticed a difference almost immediately. As soon as I started wearing X39, the neuropathy in my feet dramatically reduced.
I had a car accident, so I suffered concussion. So after 4 months of concussion, I said, screw this, I've got to try these X39s. Bang, suddenly, what the hell, I can think, I'm clear. So suddenly I'm operating back at my normal speed, which is flat out. What a difference.
Literally 12 months, I patched and didn't tell a single soul. Can I just let you all know, don't do that. And then I saw the results in my body. My wife started patching, saw results in the first week. This works. There are thousands of people in 75 countries all over the world being helped by this technology. This product gives hope.
So we're forever grateful for this product. We think everybody should be using this.
For us, we would have done it just to get our daughter back in that way.
Yeah, so there you go. What do you think? Not bad, huh? So this is the big question that we start out all of our presentations with. Have you been patched yet? And I would love you guys to just pop in the chat, yes, if you have, because many of you are, we're sponsored by us or on our team. So you've patched, and but there might be some who haven't. So please let us know in the chat. Give us a yes or a no. And yeah, this is why we're here. So we'll carry on. We'll move on from that one. Hopefully we can. No, how do we get past the video, darling?
Oh, dearie me.
Don't want to play that. I want to go to the next one.
Why is the down arrow not working?
There we go.
Down arrow.
Oh, down arrow. Oh, yes, of course.
Just we like to do things like that just to prove that you don't have to be a professional.
Don't have to be all slick and polished. You can have your tech issues.
So this is the guy, the CEO and inventor, and the reason that we're here tonight is his name's David Schmidt, and he's absolutely a legend of a man with 200 patents to his name, and that is an incredible feat. He actually got the brainchild of this. He was working with the US Navy on a propulsion project for their mini subs, and so he's an inventor. He wasn't working in life and wellness stuff back then. Working on propulsion for the mini subs, and came across a problem with the Marines, the Navy SEALs, who need to stay awake for their missions, and they were using amphetamines and caffeine to stay awake. And they realised this isn't a good thing. This goes back decades. Soldiers have been using amphetamines, but so he started investigating the use of phototherapy and came across a patch called the Energy Enhancer, which is still available today. But that was the first one. Then in 2008, he started focusing on stem cell research, and that was actually when things started turning the corner. And after 10 years investigating stem cell research and $4.5 million of his own money, he brought the X39 to market, which is the patch that we're talking about tonight.
You got it on.
Oh.
Yay.
I don't normally wear it here, but it's easier than pointing to the back of my neck.
Yes. Down.
Down arrow.
Yeah, I am. Down. Maybe I was in the wrong window.
Maybe you're not using the right down arrow.
Interesting, huh?
Oh, that's over here.
There we go. Okay, so the X39 is patented, and what that means is it does what it says it does. To get a patent is quite an achievement, so it is amazing that he's got 200 of them. Around 70 or 80 of them, I believe, are to do with the manufacturing and the creation of the X39 patch. But essentially, you'll see right here, this is what it says it will do. It has a beneficial effect by providing phototherapy, which is the method of transfer, to the human body, as a result of elevating copper peptides, including the activation of stem cells, improvements in energy, elevation of antioxidants, reduction in inflammation, management of pain, improvements in stamina, elevation of collagen production, and improved wound healing. So, like I said, it says what it says. It does what they said it'll do on the box. But a lot of the time, we can't actually make these claims when we're in public, which is interesting. So this is one of the reasons why we do Zoom calls like this and have conversations with you, because this is exactly what it does.
The great catch line I like is you can't patent a placebo.
That's exactly
which
right.
is the perfect thing.
Yeah.
So why the stem cell activation patch? Now, there's some facts on this slide which I, for one, didn't know, and we're certainly not taught this as we're growing up. Stem cells, people start hearing about it now. It's quite a buzzword. People don't realise they make up every organ in your body. So stem cells, they're a pluripotent cell. They can become anything. But as we age, they become dormant. And this is the part we didn't know. By the time we're 30, only 50% of our stem cells are still active. At 60, it's less than 10%. And this is why, we're in our early 50s. This is why the aches and pains start coming. This is why you take longer to repair after injury, even simple injuries that, when you're a kid, you bounce back quickly. As we get older, those sprained ankles take longer to heal. The scar tissue doesn't clear up and that sort of thing. And it's because of the stem cells.
Yeah, and even in our 30s and 40s, we still think we're pretty bulletproof, but actually we're running on half empty already. And most people don't know that. So how it works, it is a proprietary form of phototherapy. And essentially what phototherapy means, it's transferring light. It's a light energy patch. So what it's doing is we all emit a light of our own, and it's mirroring that back in at a particular frequency, which activates the copper peptide, the GHKCU copper peptide. And those are floating around in our bodies, and those become the messengers, if you like, to switch on the dormant stem cells. So our stem cells don't go away, they just go to sleep. And it's patented nanocrystal technology. Just get you to mute there, Daniel. It's patented nanocrystal technology. Don't get put off by the nano word. It just means teeny tiny crystals. And it's those little crystals on a lattice in a formation that do the reflecting, act like a mirror. So there's no drugs, nothing going into you, no chemicals, nothing synthetic, no stimulants, nothing is going through the skin. It's transdermal. That means non-transdermal, which means not passing through dermal, the skin.
And it's not woo-woo stuff. We're not saying, oh, look, we're all light beings. The light we're talking about is infrared radiation. We know it as body heat. It's in the spectrum of infrared light. So it is light that we're emitting.
So it's reflecting our light to activate. That's all that sets it off. And non-transdermal, non-invasive. So this is what I love about it, because I have been following natural health solutions for a long time now, and that was one of the things that really attracted me.
Quick caveat, no offense to any light beings in the room. So the benefits of X39, and this is, so in that video that we started with, you saw a small snapshot of what those people were saying. And they're not unique people. Those are such common stories that we hear from people in our team. The mental clarity is a massive one. The improved sleep, reduced inflammation, skin appearance improving, energy and vitality, strength. Now it's I feel like I'm talking fast to the slide. I don't want to downplay how important these things are. And for me, the improved sleep was a two-pronged thing. So I was sleeping better at night. And then something I hadn't even noticed about myself and it was Debbie saying, well, you're not falling asleep after dinner. So I was, on the boat falling asleep and it's uncomfortable to fall asleep around a boat table, but I was doing it at 7 or 8 o'clock at night. And I didn't even notice that I wasn't doing it anymore. So the energy
and vitality.
it seems like a small thing, but actually the knock-on effect of that has been fantastic for me.
Yeah. So yeah, essentially, like it says here, they help you achieve optimal health, a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being. It's not to be underestimated how they can help you feel on a mental and social way as well. Very calming for a lot of people. And so yeah, like you said, just about everyone who tries the patches experiences one or if not all of these things and within weeks and months.
And because of what this company is, and because of the amazing effects it's having all around the world, they have to be squeaky clean about being careful about making claims. And you'll see the disclaimer at the bottom of the screen there. LifeWave products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or medical condition. You'll, as you lean into this, you'll hear amazing stories of people, but we just have to be very, very careful about making medical claims, even though they happen.
And so some of the things on this slide, you'll see on the next couple of slides here, if it plays ball. Yeah, and just to whiz through them, I mean, these are just some examples. There's a little boy's cut his finger off there and it's healed really quickly. You might have been thinking, how's it helping your skeletal, system? Well, look at what it's done to that woman's curved back. And how quickly this guy here is healed from a snowboarding accident in just 3 days. So the scars disappearing, crunched nerve supply, painful skin irritations going down really quickly. It's pretty incredible. And then there's all the benefits of the collagen, which we saw. The collagen starts to kick in around the 3-month mark. Look at the open heart surgery scar, tissue clearing up really well. In a month, the scar's almost gone. Hair growth, the hair starts growing back. Sometimes starts even reverting to its original color. But yeah, what it does for the skin and anti-aging things that us ladies especially appreciate are definitely worth considering as well.
So things start to happen almost straight away. Within the first 24 to 48 hours, 4,000 genes in our body begin to reset after putting the X39 patch on, and I mean this is incredible. So this isn't gene technology. This isn't introducing anything new into your body. This is just you're kicking your body back into life again, getting your body to do what your body knows how to do. We're amazing beings, and everything we have is inside us. It just needs a little help.
I like what Andy said last night. It starts reverting back to your original DNA blueprint. It's powerful.
And then after 6 weeks, brain becomes balanced. There's been studies I think we show later on in this slide deck where this is evidenced. After 3 months, collagen increases. Collagen is everywhere. It's not just in our skin. It's in our joints. It makes up a huge part of our body. So
around our organs.
Around our organs. So you don't see it, but it's an oil for the body, really. And then after 6 months, the heart reverses in age. It's a massive claim, but they've got studies to back it up. And it was 14 out of 15 people, their heart age reversed by 6 years. 8 years. Absolutely and
which is a lot,
as we know. Their heart issues dime a dozen nowadays, and we won't go into why that might be, but fantastic, more important now than ever.
Back to that brain becoming balanced in sort of first 6 weeks, that was when I started to notice, it was in that first few weeks that I noticed my brain fog cleared,
not her speed,
lifted, and I was able to focus a whole lot better on things. So this is a really interesting slide. This is a topography map, an MRI of a woman, a 77-year-old woman who started using the X39. So you'll see over there on the left, in session 1, she hadn't used X39 yet. They did the MRI and it showed a lot of inflammation on her brain. There was a real lack of brain coherence there. And then they started her on the X39 patching every day. And after 3 weeks, went in for her second scan, and she has no more inflammation. If you use the guide on the right there, red is really bad. Blue is also not necessarily great. We want to be in the middle around the green, okay? So it was improving. Her brain coherence was improving. And then at the 6-week mark, she came back in and there'd been a complete turnaround, much better brain coherence. So that's a pretty powerful slide. And there's been a doctor look at that and go, that is unheard of in a 6-week period. We don't see those kinds of changes in people for 6 months.
Well, the doctors say they can do it, but it's with amazing drugs.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
this is all without that. So how do you wear it? It's really simple. It's a sticker. It's like a corn plaster. You saw it on the thing there.
Slap and go, baby.
You just peel off the backing. You stick it on.
Yeah.
Where they've done the studies was the back of the neck and just below the belly button. You can actually just slap it where it hurts. But this is where the studies have been done. On for 12 hours, off for 12 hours. It's really important that while it's on, you're drinking good water. You'll probably be thirsty anyway because your body's working. Good water, good clean water with electrolytes. So a little bit of pinch of Celtic salt or something like that. There's a number of different ways that people make that sort of stuff. You don't have to go and buy expensive electrolytes. And it's really important that 12 hours on, 12 hours off, because your body needs that chance to sort of rest and repair and rejuvenate while you're sleeping.
And while they're on, it's busy elevating those copper peptides, activating your stem cells, and regenerating your body. So it's not just folks like you and us and these incredible testimonials that are converting people, but there are a lot of doctors and practitioners and specialists coming on board with this as well. So, you can search YouTube for testimonials from doctors with X39 and see what you find there. But that's really encouraging that we're starting to make an impression in those areas. Okay, so testimonies time. So this is where we've got a few people on the call that we'd love to share, for them to share their stories. We do receive amazing stories all the time. And it can help with a multitude of things. We're probably not going to be able to do them all justice in one call. But, this is where it definitely helps to, if you've been invited here by someone else who's sharing these, then ask them for testimonials regarding certain conditions that you might be concerned about and interested in. Because there's literally hundreds of thousands of people out there sharing these stories, and it's just a matter of tracking them down. So the first person we'd love to ask to join us and share her story a little bit more, Tessa. I know you did a little at the beginning, but...
Sorry, I'm talking to myself there. I just realised I was muted.
Oh, yeah.
I can absolutely share a little bit about LifeWave and what it's done for me. Yes, I started patching. It physically changed my life. But when you've got something that you really find works for you, you don't want to hold it back. You want to share it with others. And that's exactly what I did. I went and told my best friend, or one of my best friends, and she started patching, and she was another, one patch wonder. And she goes, wow. She knew a little bit about phototherapy and light therapy. She was really into healing things that were natural, and it really ticks all the boxes for her. The first person she told was a functional nutritionist who just came straight in, all boots and all, and decided, wow, I can use this in my clinic. And all of a sudden it started to duplicate. And so I went and found, I was told by the person who told me that I needed to find 4 people. I thought, well, I've got 1, I better find 3 more. So I found 3 more in that first week. And these were just people I loved, people that I cared about. I did not sell a thing. I just said, this has got rid of my pain, and I know it can help you. Would you like to try it? They all did, because they trusted me. I wasn't selling them anything. In the first week, LifeWave sent me an email to say, congratulations, you've been paid. And it was like, what? They pay you to tell your friends? I like that idea. I was full-time working as a wedding events coordinator, the wedding planner, I guess. I was very busy. I had 77 weddings in 2022, and I was just really busy. I didn't have time to do anything else. So that was the reason I delayed in starting. But within 8 months, on the 1st of October of 23, I resigned from my job because I was earning more money from LifeWave than I was being paid in a full-time job. And I thought, wow, if I'm doing this part-time, what can I do if I actually put my mind to this business? So I really delved into it, and I just started sharing. Today, the team's, over 10,000 people in 15 countries, because somebody's told somebody who's told somebody who's told somebody. Yes, it is network marketing. It is networking. It's the fastest growing industry in the world today. But it's paid off my mortgage. I was able to pay cash for a car. I'm a single mum who's raised my kids and haven't had enough to potentially, feed them or pay a power bill or anything else. And so to be able to do this has been transformational for me. So I know what it's like to do it hard. But then I also now know what it's like to be able to have money, to be able to do things, and to have that time freedom. So I'm just saying the opportunity is there, if you want to do it, because everybody knows somebody that they love and care for.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love that. And yeah, it's network marketing, but I like to call it's people power, actually. Okay, lovely. Thanks, Tessa. Andy, we'd love to hear from you next, darling. Andy's one of our brand partners who's really leaning in and stepping into doing the business with us. She's based in Tauranga, and she's a bio wellness practitioner and a heart math coach and a Dr. Joe Dispenza coach, and among other things. So I'll let you share some of your experiences, Andy, not only your own, but with some of your clients, maybe.
Yeah, no, I'm absolutely great to be able to share this with people. So as a health coach using the BioWell technology, I'm able to show people what's happening with them energetically. And so some of the clients that I've been working with have got some amazing results very, very quickly. I had an elderly gentleman who had a driver's test that he needed to pass, and he was worried about his eyesight, and that's why he initially came to me and said, I was told I'm not going to pass because I've had this eye test done, and when I go and get the proper one, they're going to take my license away. And so he started patching, and he, about 2 weeks later, went back for his test, and he found that not only did he pass, they said, hey, you don't actually need to wear glasses when you're driving if you don't want. You actually got really good vision. And he was just blown away, and he's just continued to have results. He's now 4 months into the patching, and he's come off his arthritis medication.
Wow.
He ran out, forgot to renew it, and then realized, hey, I'm not having any symptoms. I'm not going to go back on that stuff then. And so, that was pretty life-changing for him. He's able to do more things that he couldn't do before, get out in the garden, be more flexible, take up Tai Chi and a whole lot of other activities. And he's 82, so, that means a lot for him. For myself personally, so for those that know me, know that I, in my 20s, but in particular, have chronic back problems that I've had since I was a child. I was very immobile back in my early 20s, and I slowly found ways to cope with it and deal with it, and I managed to heal parts of it, but I still struggled along with constant pain. Now, just the other day, when we were all away having a beautiful time together in Auckland, I did something silly and I bent in a silly direction and I pulled something sideways. And generally, that's usually a few weeks to recover from that because it's a partial slip disc. But I shoved the extra patch on. So I put an X49 patch where the pain was, still had my X39 on. And it was like you just saw that picture of that lady whose spine was corrected. It literally felt like it corrected my spine. And then I was jammed up in the shoulder blade area when I got home, probably from the driving, and all the other bits and pieces I was doing. I popped one on there when I got home. The next morning I woke up, pain gone, and back straight again. So it's really powerful. I can vouch for it. I had tried lots of different things to heal this in the past, everything you can imagine, and only got very limited results compared to what I'm receiving now. And my hair started growing back. I was losing all my hair about 4 months ago. It's growing back thick and fast. And I just noticed yesterday, after being on a detox patch for only a week, my skin has gone really smooth, and there's something changing. So it's been life changing.
It is. It's fantastic. It gets, and I can vouch for the hair growth too. I've actually never grown my hair as long as it is right now, ever in my life. Thanks so much, Andy. Okay, next up is Sue. So Sue's actually a good friend of Andy's. Andy introduced Sue to the patches. Sue's also from Tauranga. And we'd love to hear from you now, darling.
Got to get
She
the
was.
audio off.
There we go.
There we go. Hey, I'm so grateful to thank you for asking me to share this story. I hadn't actually realized how much the patches have actually changed my life. And every time I share this, something else pops up that I've actually realized as part of it. And today I've sort of pulled out the most of it. So before LifeWave, I actually realized I was falling apart mentally, emotionally, physically, and socially. And I guarantee you it wasn't slow either. My brain and energy were in chaos. I was overwhelmed, anxious, constantly spinning my wheels, unable to make decisions. I felt like I had 1,000 tabs open in my brain at once, and none of them would shut down, or they just kept doing that spinning thing. At one point, I actually genuinely wondered if I was starting to go down some kind of dementia journey. The brain fog was horrendous. The inability to think clearly, the forgetfulness, and honestly, it was getting so hard to even put sentences together. Like the words were sort of disappearing, and there was like this blackness around me, depression, anxiety, overwhelm. There was a mixture there of ADHD, concussions, menopause. And looking back, actually, I realized I wasn't functioning well at all. I was surviving, literally. And from the outside, I reckon it probably looked like I could hold conversations and get through the day. But internally, I was exhausted and overwhelmed almost all the time. My body was slowly, literally shutting down, and I hadn't realized it. And now I think back, I was even getting dressed was getting tough, like bending over to put a pair of trousers on or something like that. My body was achy, stiff, and it kept me awake at night with sore hips. And I know it sounds tinny, but then LifeWave came into my life. I didn't notice anything straight away, but I was okay with that because it didn't matter. As I was shared, Andy and the team shared with me that changes can take some time. And it was like I got to 57 and it had taken me all this time to damage my property. And it was going to take some time possibly for things to happen. That's okay. But at one point, though, I can't remember when exactly, possibly around the 6 week mark, I realized that it all changed. Like my brain was calm, along with my body, not medicated or numb, but just a calmness. It was so incredible. And for the first time in my life, I have now a level of clarity and calmness that I've just never had. Undiagnosed ADHD, that was in my childhood. I can think straight, focus for more than a split second. I'm not kidding. And have one thought at a time. I'm making decisions instantly if I have to. Never done that before. Oh, and I can sit still for more than a second, even 10 seconds or more. So there's a level of organization, follow through, and calm, and too, that I've never experienced, and it's showing up in my life. I'm completing things, I'm prepared for things ahead of time. I get to appointments and commitments on time even. The overwhelm and anxiety that has plagued me for as long as I can remember, a long time, has reduced dramatically. I'm no longer constantly chasing my tail, trying to catch up with life. And I've stopped feeling like I was constantly trying to survive. And that's just all of that stuff. And then there's the physical. Better sleep. I'm actually going to the gym. I can go out in the community and interact with people. I've become stronger, more flexible. I have way more energy. But like I said, it's a calm energy, not frantic. Less inflammation. I've got a photo. My face is like this ball, and increased emotional and physical resilience. But honestly, the biggest gift for me is being able to find myself, actually not getting myself back, but becoming a version of myself I didn't even know that was there. I've never experienced. It's been hidden deep, deep, deep under all of that stuff. I'm getting download nuggets, ideas, concepts, ways of being. There's smiles again, there's laughter, there's joy, there's love, balance, and an authentic way of being. I have energy, clarity, drive, emotional stability, and an excitement for life, a vision. People often ask me if I'd like to go back to 21 or an earlier age, and I used to say, hell no, because I didn't want to relive all of that. But now, though, I get to say I feel like I'm a 30-year-old with 57-year-old wisdom. LifeWave didn't fix me, but it has absolutely helped create an environment where my body can finally start functioning the way it was designed to. Has it changed my life? Hell yeah. And all for me in just 3 months. And I'm excited for what's to come. Watch the space.
Oh, wow. What a phenomenal
That's beautiful,
share.
Sue.
Thank you so much. That's
yeah. I'm quite emotional hearing
Yeah.
that. I'm so happy for you.
God.
Yeah.
It's been a privilege watching you over those 3 months as well. And I'd just like to let everyone know, she was talking about the anxiety. Last night, Sue presented this exact presentation with Andy and absolutely nailed it. And I know you'd be the first to say, Sue, that wouldn't have happened a few months ago, right? Yeah. No,
Nope.
There's so much confidence. And
thank you.
You're really, I mean, I didn't know you before, but it feels like you're really coming back to yourself. That was such a beautiful share. Thank you. Wow.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity. And like everyone else, like Tessa, and, I just can't wait to share this. It's just,
That's magic. Wow. We have another Sue to share. So Sue Ducks, who's over in Australia and was just over here with Tessa for the last week. We've had a wonderful time all hanging out and sharing the light with people up in Auckland. She was, you might have seen her briefly in the very first testimonial video. She was talking about the pain in her bottom. So maybe, Sue, would you like to share us a bit more about that story? And also, I'd just like to mention that Sue's been in the network marketing for about 30 odd years. And, she's delighted to have landed on this company with this technology. So Sue, great to hear from you.
Thank you, darling. And Sue P, what an amazing testimony, darling. You have to get that on tape and share it with as many people as we possibly can. And it was a privilege to meet you and the other girls last week. And even in a week, I saw huge growth from you and huge confidence coming about. And so, wearing the patch every day does make a big difference. I did tell my story briefly in the first video that we had about this terrible pain that I had in my bottom. Every time I sat down, it felt like I was sitting on rocks. And after 11 months, I finally found LifeWave and was given a patch to go to the bathroom and put on my bottom. And I am what they call a one-patch wonder in that it took the pain out of my body in 20 minutes. But I'm about to turn 74, so it didn't fix all the other things in that first patch. So my deal is that the more you wear it, the more it helps with your health issues and conditions. In the second 6 months of using the patches, I lost all the inflammation in my body and I shed 18 kilos in weight. If you could see my before and after photos, it's quite amazing. I've put 3 kilos back on, so I'm back up to 70 kilos and I've stayed that for the next year. But I tell you what, it has been life-changing. Varicose veins that I thought I was going to have cut and stripped, they've settled down. I don't have them anymore. My hearing, that I was having to have hearing aids, and I don't anymore. My eyesight's improved out of sight like Tessa did with hers. I went to the optometrist last year and it was 2 years since I'd been to him. And he said, your eyes have improved. You actually don't need new glasses. And I said, oh, bugger, I want new frames. So he said, well, pick your frames and I'll just put the same lens in it. But now I'm finding that my eyesight has improved even more. So I'm going to have to go back to him and get another lesser script put back into there. So life-changing is amazing. I'm now traveling a lot more than I have before. And Deb mentioned that I have been in the industry for nearly 40 years, but this product is life-changing. It is a game changer. The company is amazing. The people are fantastic. And you've got nothing to lose, only gains by coming on board and using the X39. No one ever told me that my stem cells were going inactive, and it's only because of the environment, the toxins that we're exposed to, processed foods. That's why our stem cells go to sleep. They say, oh my goodness, I don't know what to do with all this junk. And that's why we start initially feeling those unexplained aches and pains and getting lines on our faces. We're not actually meant to age because we're born with millions of stem cells to keep us healthy. That's why when we cut ourselves, the body knows to sew it back up again and heal it. So I hope that helps with the choice that you're going to make about trying the X39 patches. And Sue, I'm so proud of you for doing that opportunity last night with Andy, and bigger and better things are coming ahead for all of you. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much, Sue.
On, Sue.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about you know, the what people consider normal aging. It's really not the case. It's really not the case. And we're putting up with aches and pains way earlier in life than we ought to be. Just before we move on to the next part of the slides, I would like to ask Kathy to just say a few words. Kathy is my first one patch wonder customer, and it took her a week to respond to my reach out when she first received her patches and started using them. And I got all nervous about it. I was like, oh gosh, what's wrong? I hope she's not upset. And when I finally got her on the call, she said, what is this voodoo magic, Deb? And so, Kathy, can you just share with us, because the reason she started with us was she was already looking for stem cell therapy treatment via injections for her knees. So can you just tell us about your One Patch Wonder experience, Kathy, please?
Yeah. I'd had a left knee injury for about 12 years. And they trimmed back the ripped meniscus cartilage, but they did say you will get arthritis and ultimately you will need a knee replacement. So for quite a lot of years, I'd put up with my knee being like a football, the pain and that. And the hardest thing was I'd always been a gym junkie, and gradually I found I couldn't do that anymore. So I asked the doctor to refer me for knee surgery. And because I'm a type 2 diabetic, the surgeon wouldn't operate on me. However, he did come back and he did me a huge favor by saying, if you pay me $39,000, I can do it. So obviously, your diabetes switch gets switched off when you pay for private medical. So it made me so angry, I started to research stem cell therapy. I was prepared to go to Malaysia or China or somewhere and have a look out of sheer anger at this surgeon. And I was in the middle of researching that when I met Deb, and she had one of these on the table as we was having coffee, and I just said, what's that? And she was a bit reluctant to do the sale thing on me. But she knew she'd get 1,000 questions. And she said, oh, it's stem cell. The minute she mentioned it, the word in my head was, oh, the serendipity. Immediately. Like, I can't believe, she, you know. So she briefly explained it because she was still learning herself. And I went away and I researched it and had a look. And I thought, well, if I do this, I can then honestly say I've tried everything before I pay $39,000 or go overseas to have the knee operation. And I didn't want to have an operation because where I live, there's several people that have had knee operations. Some are good, a lot are not.
Right. So what happened? What happened on that first day, Kathy?
Right. So I came back to you and got the patches. And on the first day, with my knee, I couldn't get out of the chair. I had to stretch my leg, stand up, do a couple of hobbles, and then I could walk. I was okay. but I couldn't stand straight up. So I put the patch on and I realized that day I've got straight up out of the chair. And I thought, nah, it's wishful thinking. And so I gave it the week and I tried all sorts. So I couldn't kneel down, I couldn't run, I couldn't do the gym, I couldn't do any of that. And so I thought, I'm going to put this to the test. So I did the kneel down, I got up and I'm like, up and down and up and down, putting it to the test. And then I rang Deb to say, I just can't believe these patches have done that.
Yeah.
But luckily I understood stem cell. But the thing is, how long, Deb? I must have been on these patches now about 18 months or so. So the immediate result, like some of these ladies, you get an immediate result where the inflammation went down, the pain went away. So there I was, off I went. But now I'm actually running for 15 minutes on the treadmill.
Wow.
I've not been able to run on a treadmill for 2 or 3 years at all. And so I can kneel down, I can get up. I can honestly say that knee isn't as strong as the other one, but it'll get there. And then I've got type 2 diabetes. So I've had to be treating that with other methods. But what I do take, I take the glutathione to help the liver. And do all sorts of things. But I think the biggest thing for me last year was coming back from the UK, where I landed in a heap of stress. And when I arrived back, I'd lost 10 kilo. I looked 80. I was so wrinkled. All my muscles were hanging. My legs were hanging. So
and you'd left your patches at home, hadn't you?
And I'd left the patches at home. Yeah. But I was in such a state over there, I don't think I would have remembered to even use them, to be honest. So I came back and started using them, and I started using the Aeon and a couple of others as well. So now my skin's all cleared up, the collagen's kicked in, and I do not need surgery on the knee.
That's awesome. That's amazing, Kathy.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And it's actually
so I've
really
toned
good.
right up,
Yeah, it's actually really good to hear from someone who has started patching, stopped patching, and noticed, and then started again and noticed actually the difference. Because that is something that we get asked quite a lot by people. Do I need to do this forever?
Well, I'm about to finish my last pack of 3, and I'm going to have a break again just to test it.
Again,
because
there's no pleasing some people.
So many things like my diabetes. I'm actually I've almost reversed insulin resistance, and that's 2 years of hard work trying to do that. So I think if I stop them and test it, you can then honestly come on and say, that's what I did.
Yep, there you go. And Sue's just also put in the comments there that the SP6 complete will balance your type 2 diabetes as well. Yeah. Thank you so much, Kathy. That was a great share. It's nice to hear from you again. It's been a while. Okay, so we're going to take it just onto the business part now, and we will whiz through it, guys. But basically, my testimonial is that what got me started in this business was this. It was the business model itself, and it was doing my due diligence and looking what the company had achieved in since 2021. So that was around the time, that was between 21 and 22 that the X39 came to market. Before then, the company was doing well. But look at the jump of 300 million in that 1 year. And think back again as well to what was happening that year, right? There was a big need by people for better health and well-being. And the X39 came to market just at the right time. And it has just grown exponentially since then. And this last year they were pushing for $1 billion, and I believe they got very close. So that's a great healthy business right there. And it's just also worth mentioning that there's no debt with this company. Oh, whoops. There we go.
So you can see LifeWave ranked #1. So I think Tessa mentioned that network marketing is the fastest growing industry worldwide. And so within that, LifeWave is the #1 in momentum inside that industry. So it's the #1 in the #1. And then the team that we're in, the This Is It team, is the number one inside the number one inside the number one. The This Is It team's responsible for about 80% of LifeWave's revenue. They're the ones that in 2021 came on board, introduced a duplicatable system that we'll talk about shortly, and just the hockey stick growth, as you saw in that last slide. So we're in the right place at the right time. This company pays out 60% of its revenue back to the brand partners, back to people like us. So this is why people like Sue Darks with 40 years experience in other network marketing companies have flocked to this one, because it is
so generous.
It's so generous, and because it's patented, nobody can copy this.
No.
Right? So it's not a device that you plug in. It's not a lotion and potion. It's not. This is stem cell patches protected by patents with 15 years left to run. So no one's going to be knocking us off this perch anytime soon.
Another recent claim to fame is that LifeWave's won the 2025 Biotech Breakthrough Award. And I guess if you're in the industry, you might know how significant that is. But in a nutshell, it attracts thousands of nominations from over 15 different countries and throughout the world. And yeah, LifeWave's won it last year. So opportunity happens by creating solutions, right? So we definitely have a number of issues going on in the world. There's a lot of stuff going on. But, you know, in terms of this business, one thing we know for sure now, and you do too, is that no one seems to know that their stem cells are going dormant. There's a problem. And LifeWave also offers the very obvious solution. We can reactivate our stem cells with these patches. Another problem right now is that many, many people are struggling financially. And again, as you're learning, this is an incredible income generating business with a very low entry point to get started.
So, I mean, that brings us on to this side. A conventional business, you think about even a lawn mowing business, or someone who wants to set up their home treatment, high startup costs, high risk, long hours. Often you might need to employ staff. You have to invest in plant or materials or product. None of that with LifeWave. So our only ongoing costs of this business are our monthly subscription to our patches, which we use for the benefits anyway. So it's kind of like there is no cost. No risk. The system is there. We follow a system that's been designed by some very clever people who have a lot more experience than we do. All we do is rinse and repeat. We follow their system, and we help our team follow that system. The earning potential are telephone numbers. And when we first saw this presentation, we thought, oh yeah, right. But now we've met people.
Depends where you are on the pyramid.
You know, the pyramid. Now
No,
we've met
not the
people
case.
who are earning these telephone numbers, and they are beautiful, beautiful people. I was concerned that to get anywhere in this, you had to be that sort of person and a bit cutthroat and not salesy, but absolutely not. I haven't met anybody like that inside this organisation. So yeah, heart-centered, beautiful.
And like I said, not pyramid-y at all. So, you know, Tess is actually, she's outranked her sponsor, and that happens all over the place in this business. So it's very fair. And this is how you can get started. We've got a number of packages that you can choose from. You come in at whatever is affordable for you, what feels right for you. It doesn't matter which one you choose, but you need to grab one of those packages if you do want to share and launch the business. And otherwise you can become a preferred customer, and we can go into that in a bit. But the key is, if you do want to get into the business, it's duplicatable. And the key is to duplicate as quickly as you can. So that's why we're doing these launch calls like this. If we launch you with a bang and you have an opportunity then to bring in 2 or 4 people like here within the first 48 hours to a week, you're off to a flying start. And the thing that LifeWave does is they are now offering, because we've got a new compensation plan, which is top of the range in the world right now. If you get started quickly like that and really harness that momentum, there's a 9-week fast track bonus, and you can earn an extra 25 or $50 a week in those first 9 weeks if you get your first 2 and 4 people on board with you. And again, it's back to that duplication thing. You link arms with them, you do it together, you support each other and collaborate and have more launch calls like this or in-homes, and you all build rapidly. So it's very exciting. Tessa, I was wondering if you might want to talk to a little bit too. So this is where the sort of the phone number numbers come in, and we're not there yet, but that's why we're bringing in Tessa, because she gives us inspiration and motivation to get to some of those numbers.
Thank you for that. Look, I'm just Tessa from Mudgee, a little town in New South Wales. I actually am a Kiwi, and I moved over here 40 years ago. But honestly, when I saw the numbers here, I thought there's no way people are going to earn $25,000 a week, USD or whatever. But people were earning that after 6 months. That is not a guarantee that you're going to earn that. I'm going to make that very clear. I don't even earn $25,000 a week. I half, I've been my highest, and I'll be totally transparent here, was 12,000 US dollars a week. That's huge money. Who's earning that in New Zealand or in Australia? Certainly I wasn't. And but honestly, I have to make a disclaimer, because you're probably not allowed to put that on anywhere now, because I've put that figure out there, because we can't promise that you're going to earn anything. But you know what? If you just duplicate the system and just keep telling people and sharing this incredible product with people, you can't do anything but be a blessing. And then you are paid 60% back of everything. Like, what boss ever pays you 60% of their profits? Like, it's unbelievable what these guys do for us. And they want to empower you to have time freedom and money freedom. And if that's something that interests you, and it's only obviously, it's a call to action. Everybody has the dream, but not everybody wants to do the do. And in fact, I'm about to do a training in less than an hour on exactly that with the bigger team. So feel free to jump onto that. But look, we pay down 6 generations, and they are all condensed. So they are 6 generations of leaders. And these at the bottom, that maximum match per brand partner is on top of what you earned on that other slide per week in USD. So you can do the math. It's depending on, the product works, the company works, we are the variable. It depends how much we want to do that. I put in about 15 hours a week now. And so it's up to you. What's important in your life? Family, security, a change, because if we continue to do what we've always done, we'll continue to get what we've always got. So really it's up to you to make that change and think, well, what is it that I'd like to change? Where do I want to be by Christmas time? What could I do for my family? Maybe put somebody through university, maybe pay off my mortgage, maybe buy a car, maybe go on a holiday. I don't know. Maybe just pay off the credit card. But this is the best opportunity. Momentum is just hitting in New Zealand right now. And I really highly recommend you get back and talk to the person who's invited you. Thanks, Deb.
Oh, thank you so much, Tessa. Yeah, so really now's the time to make your move, guys. Like Tessa said, if you keep doing the same thing, you can expect the same results. And what I'm just so proud of our team for really taking that leap of faith right now, and they are pushing their comfort zones and taking that big step. They're making their move. And if any of them invited you along today or have shared this recording with you, then feel free to, get back with them and say, okay, how could this work for me? How could I get started? Because like we said, there's a place for everyone in terms of getting started. So on that note, to get started, we often say you can buy these retail, or you can buy these wholesale, or you can get them for free. Which would suit you? And obviously the get them for free means if I share enough, I will essentially pay for my own patches, and that's what we've been doing for quite some time now. And that's what our team are aiming for. But really you can get started any way you like. So I'd love to hear in the chat from everyone, if we give you a scale of 1 to 3. So 1 meaning I've heard everything tonight, this is not for me. But I've heard enough to think that I think this could help someone I know, that it would be worth them to try. Then you're a 1, okay? If you're a 2, you're going, yep, I think I'm up. I would like to try these patches. I don't want to do the business, but I'd definitely like to give them a try. I'd like to start with a month and maybe give them a few months and see what they can do for me, or see what they can do for my partner or my kids or whoever. And then a 3 would be, yes, I'd like to start the patching, and I'm actually leaning in and I'm quite interested in the business as well. So I'd like to have a chat further and learn a bit more about what that could look like for me. Love to hear you guys in the chat where you are. Are you a 1, a 2, or a 3? Three, of course.
Is that because you're a Freemason, Andy?
A 2, yeah, cool, Bex. Yeah. So what they work out to be, if you buy them 1 month at a time, you might be able to see there on that monthly subscription there, it's $99.95 US, which with the shipping works out to be just under $200. It's about $195.
An Auckland cup of coffee a day.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's a flat white a day, and much better for you than a flat white a day. So that's all you need to get started patching. Yeah. And with the packages, those ones there, again, we can have a chat about it, but rough, for the first 2, that core, you get 3 sleeves in that one. That's about 550 New Zealand. And the advanced pack is about 950, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Deb and Xander.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can I actually have to run to cook dinner to get on the next Zoom.
Thank you,
So
Tessa.
I'm going to leave you to close this one. But if there's anybody, and look, I really want to encourage any of the new people here, really look into this, like really just get yourself started, start patching, because this will change your life. The people that have invited you love you. They care for you, and you've heard the testimonies. Product works. So I have to run, but if any of you are seasoned people that want to be on the training, I'll see you in 45 minutes. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you, Tessa.
Thank you,
We're
Tessa.
blessed. Cheers.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time.
I gotta go too, but see you guys. Well done.
Oh,
Thanks, Danielle.
Thanks, Danielle. Thanks for coming.
Amazing, guys.
Gotta go too, darling. Sorry, I've got to have dinner before Tessa's
Of course
next
you
Zoom.
do.
Love you both,
See you
and
soon.
anything I can do to help, more than happy to, guys.
Oh, you're such a blessing. Thank you,
And
darling.
you're in good hands with Deb and
Okay.
Xanda, guys. They're amazing leaders. I love them so much. So
I
definitely
love you
start
too,
patching. Love you guys.
Oh,
Bye.
thank you. See you, darling. Yeah, so where was the chat? Let's just see. Oh, we got a few 2s and 3s, and yay. Yeah. 2 and telling others. Yes, so Antoinette, you guys are using the patches and you're starting to talk to a few friends. That's awesome.
I loved your question about the large patches, Antoinette, but ripping them off could be
Oh,
interesting.
that would be painful. Yeah.
Yeah. Depending on where you put them.
Absolutely. So I might stop the recording in a second. What I wanted to offer you guys now, and what I think could work really well with these types of launch calls, is that if there is anybody who's ready to get started now, they could go into a break room with your host, your brand partner, and literally get started. Otherwise, maybe some of you might have some personal questions around your health and would like to have that chat in private. Same deal, really. So we can do that tonight, or we don't have to do that tonight. But either way, I'm going to stop recording. Thank you very much for watching the recording. And like we said, yes, get back to the person who shared this with you. And we look forward to you starting your journey. Bye.